It's my movie. Hi, we're Bonnie and Greg Dixon here with Storyvan TV, and we're with Don and Cheyenne Kreamer, and their company is Triangle Solutions Alliance, and job creation starts here. So we're going to talk about MLM myths today, but maybe you guys can talk a little bit about what you do.
Okay.
Happy to do that. Did you want to start? No? All right.
Ladies first.
We are all about economic development through small business. That's what Triangle Solutions Alliance is really all about. We believe that job creation starts with the small business community. If it wasn't for us, 90-something% of all jobs have been created through small business. And, it just so happens that one of the easiest ways for people to learn about business and to build a business and actually get to a place of being a business owner and not just a solo entrepreneur is through the network marketing industry. And Hun, I know we have a number of times we've done presentations within the community college system. And one of the things we try to help people understand is, most people have an eye somewhere in the future towards retirement. And there was always this idea that there was this three-legged stool for retirement. What were those three legs, hon? You think?
Well, Social Security.
Yeah, Social Security.
Your retirement from your company.
Yeah. Oh God, if there's such a thing as a pension anymore, right. Yeah.
And the third thing is
the 401k or some kind of an IRA. And because so many of those things have become kind of shaky over time, this is where we've really gotten into the idea that more people have got to learn about building residual income streams. Because, that's what Social Security, pensions, and IRAs are all about is residual income that comes in all the time, or we've called it mailbox money.
Yes.
Yeah. And, we were talking before about how the industry has changed over time, and so much is done by direct deposit, done online these days.
Correct.
But heck, we're still getting some checks in the mailbox, aren't we?
Oh, yes, we still do.
Because we actually work with more than one company, because that's another thing. I don't think you should have all your eggs in one basket these days.
That's true.
That's kind of the big picture of who we are and what we're all about. And, we are mobile because we like to go to different communities and find people who are interested in helping more people become a little more self-sustaining through entrepreneurship.
One of the things I've learned about you, Sheyenne, is that you share what you know. You help train people to understand business is business, and there's certain things we should know, whether we think we're going to go open a yogurt shop or whether we're going to open our own little idea online, not knowing what we're doing, or joining with a company that actually has a proven way to train and make money. So we have a lot of choices, and you actually help people understand the difference.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a big piece of it too. And, in our company, we try to keep people focused on three simple ways to go into business. Because, you start talking about being an inventor, innovation in a lot of ways, that can get into some expensive prototyping and stuff. That's not our specialization. So we like to talk about three main ways. Either provide a service, like you did when you opened the Copiers After Hours company.
Yeah.
Or you can provide a knowledge product. I mean, we've written 2 books now. That's a knowledge product. And, or doing webinars and seminars. You can go into business for yourself doing that. And then our third favorite way is what we call adopt a product. And that very much is what the direct sales and network marketing industry is all about.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell us some of the myths around MLM? Because for some people, the first thing they do is slowly step away. And I think Greg and I have named it the NFL club, the No Friends Left club, because we would not go actually run and be a CEO of a company unless we had some training. Yet many people think they can just jump into an industry and they think they're knowing what they're doing, unless they're with a really good team and have really good counsel. Can you speak to that?
Well, and that's a really good point that you bring up, because we tell people all the time, if you're thinking about getting, adopting a product or a company to partner with to be able to sell their products, you've got to investigate the company. You got to feel good about the products. But what's the other thing they should be doing?
They should be seeing if they can work with the person that invited them to that company.
And the team, right?
And the team, definitely.
Because every team has a different culture, a different way of approaching things. And, it's almost like you're stepping into a marriage sometimes. You better be sure of who you're dating before you decide to sign up.
If you cannot put up with the person who's recruiting you, or their team, or the company, or the products, run.
Run, exactly. But some of the things that we hear a lot about, and I know Don loves to get into some of this conversation, because he's had a lot of fun in the classroom when we talk about these things. But I'm sure the number one thing everybody will say when you start talking about MLM network marketing is, "Oh my God, it's a pyramid scheme." What do you tell people about that?
If you want to see a real pyramid scheme, all you have to do is look at any corporation. I'm going to pick on one called Walmart. The Waltons are at the top of the pyramid.
Yeah.
You come in at the bottom. You cannot get to the top with the Waltons. No way. Now, when you get into network marketing, everybody comes in at the bottom. They can work their way to the top and be with all the other people that made it to the top. It's what you put into it. You have the mind and the will, you can make it to the top. To me, it's an upside down pyramid.
I like that.
Not a regular pyramid.
All you gotta do is look at an organizational chart of any company to see what a pyramid looks like.
That's true.
And along with that, I'd love to speak out. I am a woman. About 50% of the population are women. And many times women make statistically less money than men. But in that particular industry, wow, we're on the same playing field. And I really like that. I like that we have the ability to work on the same playing field, get paid the same amount of money. And it doesn't matter what color, what creed, what sex you are, what anything. And you can be younger, middle-aged. You can be a retired senior and be 80 years old and still working your business. And people, if you do it correctly, there's a respect to that. And I think that's so the number one thing I think you're absolutely correct is people have a thought process of what they think it is, but with today, it's actually the computer changed everything. Computers, because we're not paid by someone else. We're literally paid. We can track everything that we do. I couldn't even do that when I worked for a company in sales. I had to trust that the sales came in the back end and I got a commission in wholesale retail. I was a broker. I had to trust those people. I had no idea. Right now, I can literally go in a back office and say, "Oh, I'm going to make this much this week." And it was exciting.
Because you can see exactly who purchased from you, what they purchased, how much the value of it was. I mean, that's the beauty of technology. But I'll take it even one step further, because, we've taught people in homeless shelters and we've taught people in prison. And, people who come out of prison, recidivism costs us a lot of money in many countries. And yet this is an industry where, again, it doesn't matter if you've come from some kind of a checkered past, you have the ability to go out here and produce income just like anybody else. It is such a level playing field as we have never seen before anywhere else.
That brings to the attention how women often will do, they'll be in a job, maybe a corporate job, and they stop to have children, a very normal thing to do. But when they go to step back into that corporate culture, they've been out a while, so they're actually downgraded many times. Whereas with MLM, network marketing, relationship marketing, whatever you want to call that, again, back to the same playing field, and there's no penalty box.
That's true. We know one young lady. She was a single mom working as a waitress. Now she's a multimillionaire because she went after that network marketing company she joined and went at it, put everything into it.
She's the number one producer in the company.
She is the number one producer, is right. And that's from waitress, single mom to multi-millionaire.
Absolutely.
So it can be done.
What's another myth, Dawn and Sheyenne? What's that second myth that people often think about network marketing?
Oh, so many people that we talk to think that there's something either really dishonest or something really unethical about it. And yet, we teach a whole lot in this arena, and nothing could be further from the truth. What do you think the truth of this business model really is?
Well, it's what you do for others. You will get back it many times over. I always tell people, when you join a good company that you're really happy with, you're happy with the people and happy with the product, and you help others succeed, don't worry about what money you're going to make. While you're helping others get to their goal, you'll reach your goal by helping others. That's the most important thing in network marketing, helping others.
You mean it's kind of like the golden rule?
That's true.
Oh my goodness. Well, and since when was the golden rule considered dishonest or unethical in some way, shape, or form? I think that's a biggie in terms of people just not understanding that, there's many great people who have said, you will win when you help other people win.
Right.
Golden rule. How can it be dishonest or unethical? Oh my goodness. I mean, if it's done well. Now, I will say I've met a few people that I wouldn't want to be a part of their team.
Oh, I can explain about one lady who was bragging about recruiting 10 people one week. The next week, she did the same. The next week, she did the same. I asked her, well, how about the first people you recruited? Are they still with you? She couldn't answer. I did the checking. I think one person out of the first 10 was still there.
So it was a recruit and run kind of situation.
Recruit and run. That is one of the worst things you can do. And she wasn't getting anywhere. She was doing a lot of recruiting, but she was spinning her wheels because she was not helping the people she recruited. There we go, back to helping others.
Absolutely. And that's the difference. And that's why you have to do your research, and you have to observe, and you have to ask questions about who you are joining with. Because one of the things I've blown a lot of minds with in the corporate world is, there's a lot of people who've come through human resources in the corporate world, and they love training. They love coaching. And I'm like, do you understand that that's some of the most valuable service you can provide in a network marketing company is to be a trainer and a coach and to help lift other people up? And they're like, really? That's what you do there? It's amazing. People don't understand. That's what the good teams do.
That's what the good people do.
That's right.
That makes a lot of sense, whether we're in whatever job we were to go do. I volunteered for a year for a veterinarian. I didn't start operating on dogs the first day.
It's good for the dogs.
Thank heavens. But what I did do is watch, learn, observe, and follow, and was coachable.
Yeah.
And I think that's the whole thing. Are you coachable? And a lot of people are not coachable. In fact, they probably have struggle in their real life, their regular jobs, because if they're not coachable, they're not going to go up with the company or be a trusted person. So I think that's the big thing of look at your life right now, at the job you have now. If you're the very best at what you do right now, even if you don't like the job, I was a mail carrier, if you can believe it, for 6.5 years. It was hard work, and I started thinking about leaving the first day. It took me 6.5 years to get out of there. I took classes at night. I studied. I volunteered once a week for a full day to a health food store because I wanted to learn the business. And my goal was to buy a store eventually. And God was watching over me, and I didn't end up buying a store, and I didn't end up creating a store. I went in a different direction. I went to wholesale, retail, distribution, and manufacturing in that industry. But the thing is, I was the best I could be. So if you're doing that now in your job, you can carry that over into network marketing. If you're coachable, if you learn, if you realize you have a great team, or create the right team. And I think that's what you teach. That's what on your website, what you're teaching. And again, it doesn't matter where you are in life, you can take this information and become a better person.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Hey, I bet you have another myth about network marketing. Can you share that with us?
Let's see.
I think one of the ones that's really important to address is, a lot of people think it's too expensive to be involved in this industry. And, I will say that there are products that are better quality products. And so, yes, you will pay more for them. But what we're finding is that there's more and more companies out here that, first of all, you can start a business for free. How much does it cost for a McDonald's franchise? $250,000, $500,000?
At least $250,000.
I mean, oh my goodness, we have opportunities we work with, and it's $0 to get started. They don't even ask for your credit card.
You know what? There's something alike. Both of those, $0 and $250,000.
Yeah.
Neither one of them guarantee you anything.
Well, that's right. You still got to learn systems, processes, and procedures, and then be willing to do the work. Mm-hmm. So, that is absolutely it is called network marketing, right? Not sit on the beach marketing, although you can work on the beach. We've done some of that too, yeah.
And isn't it true, Don Chen, that a person can start their business in addition to the job they're doing, yes, and make part-time, often if people work it consistently, like we get up and go to work, a regular quote job, J-O-B, or just about broke, for most people, they're working their job. But if they will consistently take an hour a day, or 30 minutes a day, or 15 minutes a day, but consistently do something, just like a exercise or a muscle, you're working, that people often will get results by doing the consistent work, and while they're learning while they're working, so they're getting paid to earn, basically. Would you go tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, for some people, it does make sense. Don't quit your job and get into this type of business. It's definitely something. And I think even Robert Kiyosaki talks about that. Don't quit your day job, but you should be building something on the side. And hopefully your job's actually teaching you something that will be of value as you're building business. That's his recommendation. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. But there's been a number of programs we've worked with where, we're big wellness people. We're big into nutrition and such. I know you're a fan of wellness kinds of things as well. And for some companies, people can actually get involved in helping to sell the product before they have to buy the product. So you can actually sell and make money, and then turn around and use that money to purchase product. So there's never a good excuse for somebody to say it's too expensive to be here, because you can always earn the income that pays for your products. We've done that a lot, haven't we?
That's the first goal of any network marketing company, is to earn what it costs you for your product. There's some companies out there would shop at a store, and same thing, would do this online, and You buy these products that you would buy at the store, and when you get to don't have to pay for those products because you're earning enough money, you're really making money. You're not breaking even. People think, well, I'm paying for my products, I'm breaking even. No, that's not true. You would buy those products at a store, so you're not spending that money, you're not traveling there, and you're not spending your time. So you really are actually making money.
In addition to that, we are not tax people, you or I or Greg, but we're residing in Canada and you're in the US. But for both countries, if we go to our tax person and say, this is what I'm doing, they'll most of the time set you up to where some of the expenses, often it could be your phone or your place of residence or some of the mileage on your car, can be written off. So that alone is invaluable for everyone to pay your fair share of taxes and not a penny more.
That's right.
So this, for many people, talk to your tax person and just ask them the questions. And many times they'll have a program set out. It makes it super easy if you're doing the bookkeeping. And if you don't like doing that stuff, many people are very reasonable to do the bookkeeping, and then you just hand it to your tax person. I know from my former husband, not this good looking guy here, but the former husband, we our mileage alone was astronomical for a deduction on our taxes, which meant we paid less taxes. So that's something for everyone to think about. It's not just income, but it's also the income that you wouldn't have to pay back out again for taxes.
Exactly. In fact, there's some companies out here that I've seen that actually teach on that very issue, because in some cases, if you've got a bunch of mileage you can deduct, if you've got cell phone, internet service, we even in the US have kind of home office expense where they'll let you deduct a portion of your rent or your mortgage
Wi-Fi.
payment. Yeah, you're definitely your Wi-Fi. If you've got enough deductions that you can take, some companies will actually teach you that you may be able to go back to your employer and reduce your withholdings so that you're actually giving yourself a pay raise right now because you're going to pay less tax later on. That is a huge value for folks. That is a way that they can recognize, instead of getting a big tax refund at the end of the year, give yourself that refund as you're building your business. It makes sense as long as somebody can help you document that properly.
Yeah. Now, I have a question for you. And Greg always would bring this up. It was called the NFL Club. And
I got that from Russell Brunson.
Russell Brunson. And for some people, they think they have to go out there and almost attack people with their newfound enthusiasm. But that goes back to what we were talking about before, training. Can you address that particular part of how a person could avoid the NFL or no friends left club?
Relationships.
Well, yeah. I mean, you guys
build.
know as well as we do, you've got to build relationships with people. I rarely, in a first meeting with anybody of any kind, I would rarely do anything where I was just going at with, see my happy shiny product. That's not how we operate in any way, shape, or form. We actually have a mentor who has designed something called the coffee house interview. And he has a whole way of helping people to just meet with people and learn about them and document that for future reference. And if you happen to uncover that somebody's got a problem that you might be able to help solve, you may not even mention that right away. You go back to them later and just say, hey, I heard you talk about this and we may have a solution. Are you open to hearing about it? And at that point, they can say yes or no. The other thing that we do, and this is a huge part that we're doing right now, is we've got a whole bunch of network marketers who are starting to come together and create what we call a cause-related marketing co-op. So, we encourage people as part of their brand, because this is one of my pet peeves. If I go into a networking function and I meet 5 people from the same network marketing company, they all sound the same, and it drives me nuts. So I'm like, okay, so how can you build a personal brand around your direct sales activity so that you stand out in a crowd? For us, it happens to be that we partner with a lot of nonprofits. So we can talk about the cause of helping single women with children, or the cause of helping people to re-enter society after being released from the justice system. We sell our products and services as a way to fund our work in the streets, because a lot of times we don't get paid for that work. So if we're building our residual income streams to give us the freedom to do that, we build it around those causes. We talk about causes first, and we look for the people who resonate with the causes that we are working with. And those are the people who usually end up at least making a purchase from us, if not actually becoming part of our fundraising team. So we've actually built a whole different structure around how we work with our program.
That's brilliant. Just brilliant. Yeah, amazing. So with all of this knowledge, if someone were to say want to reach out to you, what would be the best way for them to reach out to you, Donna and Sheyenne?
Well, we both can be found on Facebook and LinkedIn. And thank you for spelling our names correctly, because we don't have simple names to spell. We know that, but people can see that right here. So they can look us up on Facebook or LinkedIn for sure. But you've also been kind enough to run our main website, which is triangleSolutionsAlliance.com. We do have a contact us page on there. I think I can see it from here. And in there, people can just put their contact information in, hit submit, and we will be in touch. So, yeah, those are all ways that people can reach us.
And one more thing, knowing that you are fellow nomads, and this lifestyle you created allows you to travel and enjoy as you go along. You're not stuck in one place. You are actually able to take your show on the road.
That is absolutely the truth. We are, because we are the nomads. My mother calls me a gypsy, whatever. But that's the thing, is that we actually go and look for communities who like the idea of helping more people be self-sustaining. That's a big piece. We can work with nonprofits. We can work with schools who are graduating, high school seniors, graduating people from college. We look for companies that are downsizing. We actually have a whole career transition team that can provide outplacement services to companies that are downsizing.
We can also work with teenagers.
That's true.
They don't have to be 18 or 21.
That's true.
There's
We're
ways.
teaching teenagers as
Yes.
well. And, sometimes it's by letting them create their own entrepreneurial apprenticeship program. But it's not too soon to teach teenagers about some of these different ways that they can make money legally, because there's too darn many who end up getting picked up in the street and learning illegal entrepreneurship. And that's just not necessary.
Mm-hmm. That is such a wonderful way to think about it, as it's more than it's not just a channel of business. It is actually a way of living, a way of being, and a way of training, encouraging, and giving back to society. And small businesses have made US and Canada. It just is, the entrepreneurship of it is really all about learning and becoming leaders, I think, is what you're training future leaders.
That's true. That's true. I mean, Don was fortunate. He grew up in generational poverty, but he was smart enough to go to the Marine Corps out of high school, where he learned a lot of leadership skills.
Oh, yes.
So, if he hadn't done that, I'm not sure he ever would have started his own office equipment business. But he had the courage, he had the know-how, and he wasn't fearful. I mean, I love the fact that the Marine Corps and many of those other types of programs, you learn to work through the fear. And I think some of the best business owners are typically military veterans.
True.
That's amazing. Hey, Greg, do you have any questions for Don and Sheyenne?
I'm still curious about this upside down pyramid funnel thing.
We should have bought our out so we could draw a picture.
That's right. That's right. Should have brought a whiteboard, right?
Yeah, whiteboard. That's the word.
Right. That's right. Because really, if you create an upside down pyramid, that is the truth of how network marketing is supposed to work. Everybody starts at the point at the bottom, but there's all this room at the top where everybody can be able to climb up to that top. There's nothing stopping anybody for striving to reach that top. You can have this huge bunch of people at the top, but they still enter at that same point at the bottom. One of the sayings that Robert Kiyosaki uses that I always have loved is, he says, I always have preferred entrepreneurship over the corporate ladder, because when you're climbing the corporate ladder, there's always somebody's butt in your face.
Or you might fall off.
That too.
You might fall off that ladder. One of the things I've found for myself is the team I'm on and Greg is on. Oh my goodness. They're reaching down to grab your hand and help pull you up. Yeah. That's their job. As they said, we're there for you to help you climb. We want you to be successful, because if you're successful, we're successful.
That's true. That's why you have to work for the people that you bring into your team.
Exactly. Didn't we hear that last night? We were on a Zoom with one of our mentors last night, and he was like, where do people get this idea that the industry is all about using people? And it was really funny, because when we got off that Zoom, he was actually going to be on a Zoom with somebody I referred to him that he was going to be working with on my behalf. So, wow. It's like he was doing just what you said. He was reaching down and helping us. Mm-hmm. And he's not using us. I mean, we both make money. It's a win-win.
Mm-hmm.
Win, yes. Because it's a win for the person he's helping as well.
Well, I know one thing. We have a longer conversation to have at another time, because there's some more myths that we can go into. But till then, please do reach out to Don and Sheyenne. They know their stuff. They've been studying this. Not only they have had their own business in past, and they can tell you the difference between owning your own business and all that it's entailed, and actually partnering with businesses. So please go to their trianglesolutionsalliance.com. Check out what they have to offer. And I think you'll be delightfully pleased at all the information and books that you can receive, that you can order.
Yes, right. Absolutely.
That's great. Well, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we look forward to the next time.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Thank you.